Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm having a fabulous day. You guys already know it's Granna, so that means it's kitchen talk time. So let's just hop into it, okay? Before I start, this is it, guys. This is the last week. We got a week and a day left in this month of September. Wow, this month has flown by. You know, the kiddos are getting ready for fall break, getting ready to take that little break away from school. So hopefully all the kiddos be safe, enjoy your fall break, and do all that, okay? Just be safe, okay? All right, let's hop into look, come for this section, okay? All right, I want to say condolence to the Jackson family. They lost another member of their family. They lost Tito Jackson. He was the original Jackson 5 when they first got together. He was one of the original. And we all know the Jackson 5. We all know. We all was crazy about the Jackson 5. We all had our favorite brother in the group and everything. And we would just go crazy when they come on TV and all that. My favorite was Jermaine. I knew I would never meet this guy in my life, but he was my favorite. A lot of people liked it, Michael. Michael was cool. He was cool, but he was closer to my age. I liked it, the older brothers, the older one. I also thought Jackie was cool. I liked the Jackie too and stuff. But Tito, I think he was the bass player and everything. He was, there was 9 of the Jackson. I think he fell in there around the third or fourth brother. They was very popular in the 70s and 80s and even on up into the 90s. I mean, the music is still playing to this day. You can still listen to a Jackson 5 song. You can still listen to his brother, Micah. Micah is the king of pop. You will always listen to him. His sister, Janet, very, very well known, very popular. And the whole family is just a very intelligent family, very, 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 very good musical history from the whole family, okay? So rest in peace to him. His mom, Miss Catherine, she's still living. She's still, she's like 92 years old. So she's still living, and he has the rest of his sibling, Marlon, Randy, Janet, Rebe, Latoya, Jackie. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them, I think. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. I know they'll probably never see this or hear this, but when we grow up with these entertainers and we become a part of their life, we kind of embed ourselves into their life. And we really feel some kind of way when one of them pass away, or we hear about one of them being sick or anything like that. We feel some kind of way. I just went crazy when Michael passed away. And like I said, he definitely was not the one I had the little crush on, but he was definitely very talented. So I felt some kind of way, So when I heard about that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Tito, and when stuff like this happen, I do go back and pull some of their older music, pull some of their music and listen to their music and something like that. Tito had 3 sons. I don't know. I think I had somewhere years ago. This was years ago, where his wife passed away. I think she drowned or something like that. But I do know he has 3 sons. His dad, of course, Joseph, who was very popular too, because they did the whole story. From us on the outside looking in, he was like the meanest man in the world. But he was definitely responsible for bringing his family together and putting them into the musical world and putting them out there on the forefront for everyone to enjoy their talent. So rest in peace to Mr. Tito Jackson. Yeah, he was 70 years old. Okay, and then while I was looking at that last week, of course, up on my phone pops it pops up saying that Diddy, Sean Combs, had been arrested in Manhattan. I guess he went to court or went up there to turn himself in or something like that. But anyway, they arrested him for all these allegedly charges that's against him, with all this sex trafficking and all this, hitting, beating up on Cassie. Well, I say allegedly, but we saw the video on that. So he was arrested and everything. And when I was reading about that, I mean, let me say this. If Diddy did all that other stuff they said that he did, that he absolutely should be held accountable. Absolutely. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. I feel like he should be held accountable for all of that. I mean, we do know the one incident that we saw on tape that we can say he did that because we saw that. All these other charges or incidents that people has came out of the woodwork talking about it. I mean, it's a lot of, they talking about men's, and this happened in the party house, all kind of stuff. I heard some names coming out that I was like, what? I'm sitting here with my mouth open with some of these names they were saying was entangled in all this stuff that was going on at Diddy's parties, okay? So, you know, he should be held accountable. He absolutely should be held accountable for all that. But I was thinking about all that, and I'm like, you know, it's a double standard. It's a double standard. And, you know, even with the law, and we know that. It's no surprise. We know that. But it's definitely a double standard when we've seen in the past of other people, you know, the Harvey Weinstein or whatever his name, you know, there's all the stuff that he was doing, sexual harassment and all this kind of stuff, the double standard in the way that was handled. I'm not going to mention this name, but the other person that's got already 34 cases allegedly, charges against him. And I don't even know if I got to say allegedly because it's out there on national TV for everybody to see, but he's got like 34 charges. And then he had the charges with sexual harassment and, you know, groping women's and doing all this stuff and hanging with the prostitute and doing all this stuff. And it really seemed like he going to get just a slap on the wrist and continue to do what he do. Is this because they looking at different status of the person, not the cases, not the charges, but the person. They looking at status. They looking at your economic, financial status. They looking at who you are. They looking at the power you hold in your hand. They looking at the people that you know. You know, is all that involved? Because none of that should be involved when it comes to holding someone accountable for their crime. None of that stuff should be involved. If you do the crime, you need to be held accountable. And if it has been proven in a court of law that you done these crimes, then it should be no question of how you should be held accountable. Whatever the sentence say it should be, then that's what it should be. But on the other hand, you're able to commit these crimes or do these crimes allegedly, and you're continuing, and you're still able to go and put yourself in position to hold the highest office in the country. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's how my mind be thinking sometimes. You know, when R. Kelly did what he did, he got held accountable. Hell, he's still in jail. Okay. When Bill Cosby did what he did, he got held accountable. The things that Bill Cosby did was like over 50 years ago. But there was no limitation on that. Okay. They had women coming in there testifying against Bill Cosby that could barely even walk. Stuff that happened 50 years ago. Okay, cool. If he did it, he's been held accountable. They're holding him accountable, you know. But it just seemed like on the other side, it's not like that. It's just not like that. I mean, anytime you abuse a woman in any fashion, form, of anything, then you should be held accountable. And it's been proven. If it's been proven, I'm not saying that women don't exaggerate sometime or women don't lie sometime, but when the stuff is right there in your face and they have the evidence, they have videotapes, they have all this evidence, and right now, hell, if you got a videotape on someone doing something like that, then what are you questioning? What is the question? Why are the person being held accountable? You know, what's the deal? But you know, I sit up here and I think about this crazy, dysfunctional world that we live in, and how no matter what you try to do to live right and do right and be a kind person and just make an honest living, regardless if your status is not as high financially as the next person, then you're walking around, you're tiptoeing around on glass. Because you never know if you make one wrong move what the outcome going to be, because we already know sometimes the legal system is just not fair. And we've seen that. We've seen that out of the last few years, how the legal system is kind of tilted to one side. You know what I mean? I mean, if you guys ever seen that scale that you buy with the lady holding, and then on each side you have the scale where you can just add to it and kind of try to balance it out. It's never balanced. It's always, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy. I think about stuff like that, and I think about how crazy this world is, and how some people, because they have power, they get to continue to walk around and do whatever they want to do, and they feel like they're untouchable. And I'm not saying, excuse me, guys, I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying that at one point Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to refer to him to, didn't feel like he was a powerful man, because I have read statements, and this is what I read. I'm not saying it's true. So allegedly, he's made statement of how powerful he is, who he knows, and all this kind of stuff, and he can have people knocked off and this and that. Allegedly, this is what's been said. And, you know, I've seen him on the red carpet walking around with his long fur coats on and, oh, his tailor-made suit, which is nothing any different than any other entertainer or mogul person has done. So he hasn't done anything any different. It's just that he got the big head, I believe, and he really think or thought that he was untouchable, and he was able to continue to do these things that he was allegedly accused of. And up until we actually saw that video of him actually kicking and stomping on Cassie, you know, it was all he say, she say, and all this kind of stuff. And then, you know, and it took that video, what, 5 years, 6 years to even come out? I don't know why that was crazy. So, you know, sometimes, you know, regardless of your color or your race, you get the big head and think you're untouchable. You do think you're untouchable, but best believe, just like you went up that ladder, you're going to fall your behind down even faster, you know. And I'm just saying that's just the way it is. If, you know, you got the ladder, and if you got one person on one side trying to climb and someone on the other side, it's still going to be off balance, because it's still different factors that's going to be taken into place when they're looking at who's climbing that ladder. There's different factors that's being looked at, and they'll allow certain people to get to a certain level. And the first thing you do, even if you've been doing it for years, but once it hit the public, or once they get out there, you're coming down. You're gonna come down, and you're gonna be held accountable faster than the other person that might be going up that ladder, or faster than some of these people you allegedly know, and you feel like you're right there on the same level that they're on. You're never gonna be on the same level that they're on. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, because when I was reading all this stuff, and all this stuff was coming out with what P. Diddy had done, and having all these parties and all this kind of stuff, some of these names that they was throwing out there and all this stuff, I was like, wow. I mean, my mouth was just open. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even believe these people would even associate with him. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not taking anything from him that he did. It was just the way he went about doing it, and then he got caught up in it. That's all I'm saying. Because you know, he sold millions and millions and millions. He's a millionaire plus over I don't know how many millions and all that. But me personally, I didn't really listen to his music. The only thing I really liked that he did was the song he did with Faith Evans with the tribute to Biggie. I really liked that, and it was more because of Faith Evans, her singing that she brought to that. So I really enjoyed that song. But, you know, everybody have their own taste when it comes to music and all that. So I'm not knocking him for that. I'm knocking him for these charges, allegedly, that he's being charged with. And if he did that, then I'm feeling some kind of way. Towards him, because no one should ever be abused, touched, any kind of way. When they say no, no is no. And no one should take advantage of that. And no one should ever put their hands on a woman, or anyone, especially a woman. And so that also goes for anyone else out there that has put their hand on a woman. They have groped them, you know, did things to them that they did not want to do, made them feel uncomfortable. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Read between the lines, okay? Read between the lines so you know who I'm talking about. So anytime that happened, that person needs to be held accountable. And that's just what it is. The person needs to be held accountable. Accountability. When is the United States, when is this world going to understand that all crimes should be equal? All crimes should, whatever the penalty for that crime, the sentence for that crime, and they have outlines for these different crimes. They be knowing what they're going to sentence a person. They have all that stuff outlined. Then it should be for everyone. It should be for everyone. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, I ain't got a dog in this fight. I have no dog in this fight. It doesn't matter what I think, because none of these people that I'm talking about is gonna probably ever see this video. You know, you got to have millions and millions of followers before people like that even see your videos. So, you know, but all this stuff is out there on the internet. You can research it, and you can, you know, find out about it whenever you want. It's nothing new that I'm saying to you guys about the P. Diddy incident. It's nothing new that I'm saying to you guys about the R. Kelly, the Bill Cosby, you know, none of that. Even the unnameable person that I did not name, you know, none of that stuff is a secret. It's all out there. Okay, so just, you know, do your research on this stuff. When you're hearing about this stuff, just do your research, and you will see for yourself how the scale is off balance. That's all I'm saying. But once again, I want to say rest in peace to Mr. Tito Jackson. Condolence to his family. I hope you guys have a great week. You know, we're getting ready to bust off into October. And just enjoy life, guys. Life is too short. I'm telling you, man. The thing about Tito, they say he wasn't even sick or anything. He just had a heart attack. And that can happen to any of us, like in seconds. Seconds. That's all it takes, is a second. Okay? You guys have a great day. Granna's about to get up out of here. And I am going to check you out next time around.